Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Guys, have a smile on my face. Rough weekend. Rough weekend. One more of those, and man, things are gonna turn ugly here in Baltimore. But it's a good team. It's a good Ravens team. They're gonna win a lot of games. It's just the deja vu all over again, happening for the Ravens. Kind of tough to deal with. Flying solo tonight. Have a lot of solo appearances coming up. So, I listen to you guys, and you like our guests, but you want to hear more of what I have to say, and I'm gonna go ahead and honor that. It's a little awkward going on by myself. I like to take a drink. I like to bounce ideas off of each other. But in essence, you in the chat and the way this channel is you guys are my partner. So I'm gonna count on you for some score predictions, some chat, some topic bars. I got plenty of slides. I got plenty of topic bars. But yeah, it's I must admit, there's really no good opening for this week. I was thinking about what do you say when you come on? What can you say? What can you say? So let's get to it. Let's address the elefante in the room, so to speak. Another bad dream, nightmare loss in week one. And my thoughts on this are simple. Look, we dominated that team for nearly 3 quarters. If we keep our foot on the gas and play the same football, the same style of football that we did for the first 3 quarters, we put up 50 points on those fools and we win this game going away. It's of course I had a seat at the end of the bar with the rest of you. I don't pretend to be an NFL coach. I've only coached kids, do have a lot of football knowledge and all this stuff, but I can say with confidence that we went into a shell, one defense, very, very soft coverage, gave up a ton of just easy passes. I mean, guys are playing way off. Breakdowns. The Derrick Henry fumble, of course, was unforeseen, unfortunate. But still, if we play our same style of football and just run the ball on them, we were running the ball at will. They started loading the box, knowing we were going to run it. We could have threw it. We say he was crushing them. We would win that game. And my thought is this team, is going to win 12, 13 games. I would bet on it. But, the upsetting part to me, and I know many of you out there, is, it's going to come a time at the worst of times when the games matter most. And that's what bugs me. That's what bugs me. Like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be great. Lamar's going to have a great season. Derrick Henry's going to have a great season. The defense is going to turn it around. It's going to be November and December, and people are going to say, the Ravens are one of the best teams in football. The Ravens look like the best team in football. And we're going to be shooting up power rankings, and we're going to be beating good teams. And then what's going to happen? Week one just kind of brought all that back and instilled that fear that we still got the same issue on this team. And now we have a reputation for it. Like, when people think about the Baltimore Ravens, they think about blowing fourth quarter leads. That's what bothers me. Like, especially for y'all longtime Ravens fans who have been around since the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, Lodi Nada, Christmas McAllister, on and on and on days, that this foundation of this team was built on defense. And now we're known as the team that blows leads. This is crushing, y'all. This is crushing. I can't sugarcoat it. Like I said, it's not saying that I'm not overreacting and thinking this is a bad team. Hell, through 3 quarters of that game, I had seen the Kansas City Chiefs. I had seen the Eagles play. I had seen the Chargers play. I had seen the Ravens and Bills play. And there was no doubt in my mind through the first 3 quarters of that game that the Ravens were the best team in football. Do you disagree? Who were the top 4 teams all year they talked about? The Bills and the Ravens, the Chiefs and the Eagles. We saw all those teams play in prime time. The whole country did. And the Ravens looked better than all of them. And then what did we do? We threw it away. Herm Edwards said, we let them off the hook. We let them off the hook. So, yeah, it's a rant. I knew it was coming. But as far as the rant goes, I always try to be an optimist and be like, we're going to learn from this and we're going to learn from last year. But we've blew these in all kinds of ways. Let me get to y'all out here. Let me catch up. I promise, man. Like I said, I'm going to go more and more on by myself solo and rely on my family in the chat. Hey, Heather is here. Hey, Jason. Hey, family. Love you, Heather. Brother Jay, let's go. Cosmonaut, what's going on? Tried to make Cosmonaut a moderator, but my computer skills failed because I don't see no wrench on there, bro. If you see somebody acting up, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. I have Oris Taurus in there. You got it, Jason. Love you. Hey, my brasso. You're paso, my brasso. So, Dwiz, I was talking to one of my buddies who watches the show. True story. And we were talking about the show and all the great people in here and all. And we decided, me and him decided, we've been friends for 30 some years, that Dwiz, you, sir, would you come off as like one of us. Like if you were in our circle of friends, like Dwiz is one of us. Same type of attitude, same type of energy. So you're paso, my brasso. Love you. Love you. And Heather in here, love my Huddle It Up Films family member for 1 month. Oh my goodness. So these things will start popping up. This is a first for me. So Heather was the OG, so to speak, of the membership drive. You guys remember I had 2 memberships for the first 3 years of the channel. Heather pops in, gets one, starts giving them away. Everybody else got one. So I really love you. Love a bunch of. There's an elefante in the room, Key and Peel. See, this is what I'm talking about. Dwizgate. Dwiz got the reference, the elefante in the room. Yes. Don Royal, I'm calling that game a preseason game. I wish I could, Don. I wish I could. You know, the problem wasn't the players. The problem is our attitude and our mindset in big games, in the biggest games, when we just get too conservative and blow leads. And you know what? I'm going to show this to you. I'm sure you guys have seen this because the loss has been covered in depth. But the Ravens have now lost 8 games since 2021, in which they at one point had a win probability of at least 90%. That's 3 more than the next closest team. And what you hear from Harbaugh and a lot of people as well, we're up by 2 scores a lot. We have a win probability of at least 90%, more than most people. That's why we have more losses. It's true, but you can't excuse with the running game and the weapons we have and the investment we put on defense to give up leads like that. I mean, it was bad. Look at the win probability. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but this was the roller coaster. All of us were up there, man. All of us were up there in the 99 percentile in mood. And then we started getting that sinking feeling. And then just look at how it dropped. Bro, if the stock market looked like that, we'd all be homeless. Like that is a terrible, terrible way to go out. So Don, love you checking in, man. You've been here for a while, but I'm going to say, man, I would like to call it a preseason game, but for me, it was a reoccurring nightmare. So yeah, you got your paso in here for tourists. Yeah, get on the your paso, my brasso train here. Love it. Oh, hey, Samuel Moore. $5. It's week 1, folks. We are not the team, not that team. Love the show. Go Ravens. Love the show. Go Ravens. Thanks, Samuel. Dundalk education here. Sometimes I stumble with the reading there, but yeah, it is week 1. And you know what, Samuel, to your point, we're going to have a great time this season. We're going to dominate. We're going to see some great things from Lamar and the rest of the Ravens. I just, I had to get out how I was feeling on Sunday night. I was pretty upset. I would say like flabbergasted. You know what I mean? That would be the word. It wasn't like I was mad or upset. I was just like, man, here we go again. It's just tough. And Cosmo, at least the team is strong. They just beat themselves this week. Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty much it is. It is disgusting. Same, Jason. I see you guys. And I did see this stat where Taurus, man, I'm gonna blow this, but blow this line here. But teams were 277-0 when in some kind of situation the Ravens blew it so historically that now teams in that situation that the Ravens were in on Sunday night are not 277-0. They are 277-1 because the Ravens were the first team to blow that lead. Ash Marie, hey, love Ash Marie. Quiet, to the point, but she always checks in, and I love that. Thank you so much, Ash. I really, really appreciate it. But you know what? It's about time it's being talked about. You're right, Tila. I mean, look, I think it's important in life to know what you don't know and to, at least, understand that there's a chance that you could be wrong. You know what I mean? You might feel strongly about it, but maybe I just ain't seen enough life. Maybe I ain't walked in their shoes. But I mean, look, this is a recurring problem. And, I'll come to the coaching on this, and it was on defense that really bothered me. It was the defenses that were being called. I mean, yeah, the Buffalo Bills are tough. They were, they came down the field the first drive and scored on us. It's a formidable offense. It can come back on you. But I think the worst thing you can do is go into the old prevent defense type mentality and just give them 5, 7, 8 yards at a time. Give the wide receivers all that cushion. The pass rush was bland. It looked like they were concentrating almost too much on rush integrity. And, they held Josh Allen, his scrambling to a minimum. So that it was clear they wanted to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. Very clear. I would have liked to see them, turn it loose, maybe put a spy on Josh, get aggressive. And then the thing that gets me, Tila, is the one time we got aggressive, and y'all remember this. The one time we got aggressive, played man, I think we blitzed on the play. James Cook gets out there. Roquan has a chance to tackle him, misses the tackle, and the Bill, I think it was Cook, went all the way down. Nate Wiggins didn't chase him down to the 2-yard line. So it's like the one time we get aggressive, the players blow it. Then the coaches are like, no more of that. So, man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Seeing some facts in here. Facts. Dwiz, defensively still disappointed the whole game, honestly. Yeah, we got some stuff to clean up. I'm going to get to player evaluations here in a second. But Jair didn't look ready. He did have some good reps, but there were some uncharacteristic reps from Jair Alexander. Heather, thank you so much. This is going to make me take a drink. And it's water. It is water over here. You can see the condensation. Heather, thank you so much. The $20 super chat. That's awesome. What did you think of Voorhees? I think him, Linderbaum, and Stanley look good. Zach Orr needs to quit coaching scared. So, yeah, I talked a lot about the second part already. Voorhees, Linderbaum, Stanley. I think Linderbaum looked real good. I'm not sure if you saw, many of you guys saw, but I was on with Sarah and Bobby on the vault today. Put on a film study for them. It was supposed to be a 15-minute segment, but I chose Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum because they made my notes more than anybody else. I thought Linderbaum played phenomenal. Just the line communication, sliding and protection. It was really masterful. Stanley played well. Voorhees, I do think, played well. He did have a couple of moments, but with Voorhees, it's you get a positive feeling with him. It was up and down, but it was mostly up. Roger, he needs to get stronger, I would say. Roger Rosengarten needs to get stronger. He has some excellent reps. He had some excellent plays, some highlight plays in that game, but he also had some not so good plays. And then Faalele, I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. I'm going to save that one, Heather. But, hey, thank you for the super chat. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. Again, for all you guys that help out with that, with the channel being demonetized with the film, it was good. It really helps a lot. It keeps my morale up as well. We look better by far. We look better, Chris. We look better than them by far. And they look good. The Bills look good. We were just too much for them on offense. We all act up, Jason. Man, yeah, I've been doing some acting up. Mr. James in the house. Best hat in the game. Best profile pic in the game is Mr. James. No words, no feelings, just embarrassing. Yeah, it was embarrassing. And what I'm embarrassed about, Mr. James, is that, again, we got this reputation across the league as jokers. And I can't sit here and debunk that. That's true. And this is an original Ravens fan, like many of you who have been watching this team for it. You can't stand it. And it's happened. This is why I go to Harbaugh. It's happened with Mike McDonald. It's happened with Zach Orr. It happened with Greg Roman. You saw the stats. It goes all the way back to 2021. So you're talking about 2 different coordinators, maybe 3 defensive coordinators. Wink, I guess, is in there too. 3 defensive coordinators, 2 offensive coordinators. The same quarterback who, by the way, has won 2 MVPs, should have won 3 MVPs in the league so far. Great running game, all this other stuff, so you can drain out the clock. And what do? We keep blowing leads. And who does that go to? What's the common denominator? Just saying. Not saying, just saying. So, yeah. Just going through more. It's tough, yeah. Hey, Q the God in here. Good evening, ladies and gents. Good evening, Q. Good evening, buddy. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, Dwiz, 235 rushing, 2 scores up. Right. And we can't close that thing out. It's pretty pathetic. Jason Z, just saw his, want to bring him up. Jason, I know it's hard to see it after that collapse, but the Ravens will tighten it up. The coaches will refocus, and the Ravens are Super Bowl bound. I have no doubt about all that. It's the Super Bowl bound part that has got me nervous, and it's just like this team is ready. This team has all the talent. I want to see them finish. This is their time to finish. This is their time to finish. Why was Keaton inactive? Great camp and preseason. Congrats, Keaton Mitchell. You're inactive this week. Right. Yeah, looked like one of the most explosive. And, Harbaugh said after the game, well, we want to give all our touches to Derrick Henry. And one thing I will say is pass protection wise, Derrick Henry let us down a couple of times in that game. Justice Hill by far is the best pass protecting back on the team, excuse me. So if it's 3rd and 12 and you need to push the ball downfield and you want to keep it back in for protection in case the other team blitzes, Justice Hill should be on the field. But we have got to get more creative and get a way to have Keaton Mitchell involved. I mean, we had guys on snaps that didn't play any, or guys on defense who didn't play any defensive snaps. They just played special teams. And I mean, I'm not crunched the numbers, but something tells me you could have deactivated Higgins or Hummel or somebody out there to make Keaton Mitchell a part of this game plan, and how you could have had him back there on kickoffs with Ali. Ali looks good on the kickoff returns, though, I will say. And John Parsons checking in. You play to win the game. Mr. Chad, 1205. First time seeing you. Thank you, Mr. Chad, for commenting. Hope you comment more and become part of the show. Harbs is the common factor in our latest tradition of choking in prime time. Yeah, that's unfortunately it is what it is. Blair Davis checking in. Hey, Jason, how do you feel about Clowney working out for the Cowboys? We sure could use a capable edge rusher. I like Jadeveon Clowney. If you guys go back on my channel, or you could probably just type it in and Google it, Jadeveon Clowney highlights. I'm one of the few people that make full defensive highlights, so my video is probably going to be high up there. But take a look at his 2023 highlights for the Ravens, because I include plays that aren't just like stats. So it's not just his sacks, it's not just his tackles. You can get a sense of how disruptive he was here. I would say, other than Kyle Hamilton on defense, the most fun defensive highlights I've put together was Jadeveon Clowney's from 2023. The man was a wrecking ball. I think I named the video Menace because he was an absolute menace. I don't know what he's still got left. I did see him in Carolina a couple of times last year, and even for a bad Carolina team, he looked like he was bringing it snap after snap, and he fits with our culture. I think he brought a certain edge, a certain swag. I'd be all for it. I'd be all for Jadeveon Clowney coming back. You got to make tough choices in a game in a year like this. Living legend, hey man, haven't seen you in a while. Good seeing you. What happened and why Jair Alexander? Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. He had some good reps. There's a rep down at the goal line. I think that Jair did excellent on. I think it was Keon Coleman he was covering, and he was Josh Allen's first read, and Jair jammed him up something serious. It was the 2-point conversion. Josh Allen had to scramble right. It was when Kyle Hamilton got the interception. That was Keon Martin's only snap on defense. He smothered Shakir. The coverage was excellent. Like we were aggressive, and when the players were allowed to play, we looked good. But Jair had some awful snaps. The 4th and 4 pass interference he had when Josh Allen just had to launch it downfield. He's got to be better than that. Chris saying deactivate Hummel. Yeah, I see it. And I'm going to scroll real fast here so I can get back to the content. But this is great. This is exactly what I want. I want you guys to help lead the show. So player analysis for week 1. I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick analysis across the board. We know Derrick Henry was excellent. Lamar, excellent game. Zay Flowers. How about, I think you guys noticed, I certainly noticed, you probably agree with me, the yards after the catch, the urgency to get upfield, that little hop step that he did just to freeze the defender and then take straight north and south. Loved what I saw with Zay Flowers. Bate was not involved. Andrews 1 target. I feel like this offense is just going to run through Zay Flowers in the passing game. And you know what? I like having more balance, especially when Likely gets back. He needs to be involved over the middle. But I can't complain with what I saw with the usage of Zay Flowers. Excellent game for him. Like I said, he got himself open a few times on just excellent routes. He broke people off when nobody was watching and the play was going this way. And then the yak from Zay, I thought was special. I thought it was some of the best Overall, yak from one game, yards after catch that I had seen from Zay. Loved him. The other guys were quiet. D Hop, man, what do I say in the scouting community? Y'all who follow me for a while know. Alpha skills linger longer. When somebody's great at something at the NFL level, that person will be great at that long after their body fails. So D Hop could be 40 years old, 42 years old, and he'd probably still have the best catch radius on this team. One of the best in the NFL and the best hands in the NFL. That's what he brings to the table. Beautiful throw by Lamar on that. The trajectory on it, if he leaves it in the air a little bit longer and it's a rainbow, maybe the safety gets over there. If he puts it too close to the middle of the field, the safety is there. If he puts it a little too far towards the sideline, D Hop's not able to catch that. Just a beautiful throw, beautiful catch from D Hop. Love that. So that's from the receivers. So I got some more super chats, so I want to get to them where we continue. As long as we do not play the starters in the preseason, the first 2 games are consistently going to look like this, if you ask me. See, Samuel, I don't want to play Lamar in the preseason. That's a heck to the no to me. I don't want to. Derrick Henry, I don't need to see him. Some of the defensive guys, yes. Some of the defensive guys, for sure. Marlon, I don't need to see him. He comes ready to play Marlon had a good game. So, yeah, I'm a little bit, kind of with you on this, Samuel, but a little bit, I don't want to see Lamar. I don't want to see him out there at all. I don't, Lamar's going to take a beating. He took a couple. Oh, Zhang's in here too. Hey, Zhang. Hey, Zhang. Got to bring Zhang up. Zay is him. That indeed, Zhang. Living Legend with a $4.99. Wow, thanks, man. Great show. I love you, man. I've seen your comments a lot in the videos and have commented under yours from before. So I am familiar with you, Living Legend, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Heather, back again. Thank you, Heather. Jason, do you think Trenton actually touched the white line with the ball? Do you think it should have been challenged? I couldn't tell. That the one replay, the one angle we got, I thought he touched it, and then the other angle, I didn't think he touched it. Did anybody else know what I'm talking about or agree with me on this? But the one of Trenton's back, heading towards the end zone, it did not look like he touched it. And in fact, I think the crew freeze framed it and was like, "Oh, it doesn't look like he touched it." But from the end zone angle, facing forward, facing towards Trenton, it did look like he touched the white line. As far as a challenge, I mean, when you're up like that, I think it's worth a challenge because if you're down by points, you might need those timeouts when it comes down to it for a comeback last drive. But being up like we were, hell yeah, I would have challenged it. That's huge field position right there. You're going to pin them back in their own end. That's always really, really tough. I understand trusting your defense, but we had a challenge left. Maybe Harbaugh was thinking, well, there might be another big play I can challenge. But at that point in the game, yes, Heather, I would have challenged that. And I'd say challenge it with the opinion of, I don't know if it touched the white line or not. Sometimes when you challenge it, all of a sudden on TV, new camera angles come out, and you get to see it for sure, definitively. And chances are, maybe we wouldn't have gotten a definitive answer. Maybe it would have been too unclear, not obvious enough to overturn. But to me, I would have think it would have been worth. I think it would have been worth it. John saying, Clowney is 32 years old. KBN is 34. He's not too old. I wonder what he's asking for contract wise. That's always part of it, John. So, yeah, we're doing player evaluations here. Your thoughts on Roquan F? Hoderi, hey, man, thanks for checking in, first of all. I just want to say it's average. He's average, at least this past game, and I've seen a lot of average play. He's in the right spot. He's being physical with his blocks. But the Roquan that I saw at the end of 2022 and in 2023 was damn near unstoppable, refused to be blocked, would set guys up, think they had them squared up, and would do an okey doke side to side and jump right back, jump right back in the gap and destroy people. And now he gives me more of a pile jumper owner type feel. So I don't think Roquan, I wouldn't give him an F. I would give him a C, but you're not paying for a C, O'Derry. That's where the F comes in. I think that's what you're getting at. You're paying him top dollar. You expect him to make plays like we see Fred Warner make every week. Yeah, it's just kind of tough. It's just kind of tough. Appreciate all the comments scrolling here, scrolling through. Yeah. Rose Empic is another one somebody in the comments came up with last year. Tila probably like that one, but yeah, Rose Empic was one of the comments. So we went through the wide receivers, we went through the running backs. I went through the offensive line. Like again, Tyler Linderbaum played outstanding. I thought Stanley was very good. Voorhees up and down, Roger Rosengarten up and down. I think the arrow is still pointing up on both of those guys. Yeah, inexperienced guys. They get overpowered sometimes, or something doesn't look right, but they come back and they have really good reps. It's the right guard situation, fellas. And I told myself I wouldn't do this. I'm a big proponent of just worrying about what you can control. Now, of course, football, we don't control it, but we have opinions and it's fun. But like I told myself, I wasn't going to get stressed out. I'm going to accept that Daniel Faalele is the right guard, even though he would not be if I was the coach. And I'm not going to bring it up every week, Jason, because it's not worth it. You know he's Harbaugh's guy. You know the team believes in him. But I could put together for you guys a tape if it was this kind of channel of just some mind-numbingly bad reps from 77. Mind-numbingly. Like plays that, you see viral clips on the internet and everybody sees this one play or these two plays. Let me tell you, it was probably like 5 or 6 plays where he is doing absolutely nothing. If he trips, falls, loses his balance, gets it over his skis, just is not aware enough. And if you're going to play with his kind of size, you better be aggressive. You better hit everything that moves. And you better be a smart player because other players are going to be quicker. And this is another thing that I think Daniel Faalele will play well this season. He will have games where he plays well. He will have stretches where he plays well. He'll grade out good on PFF. And people will be like, see, Daniel Faalele's fine. Somebody said to me, we put up 40 points. Daniel Faalele is not a problem. I'm telling you, when these games start counting and there's a Christian Wilkins across from him or an Ed Oliver who had a really good game against us or some of these quicker, more explosive defensive tackles, Matabike style guys, not your nose tackles, but your true 3 techs. Daniel, he struggles with those guys. It's just a physical issue. And again, he doesn't have a extremely high IQ, football IQ, which would allow him to play through his physical limitations. You see guys that maybe they are, not very fast or, not real hard hitters or not the most technically sound, but they're smart. So it allows them some leeway because they see it first. Daniel doesn't see it first all the time either. So you have a player that's physically limited in his movement. He's not seeing it well. So, you guys know, if you know me and follow me, I'm not a hater. I do not like to put players on blast. But I'm telling you, I could put together a video, a good 2 minutes worth of plays that you'd be like, man, we got to get this guy out of here. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. As for the defense, Travis Jones, Nnamdi Madubuike, almost called you Justin, man. Let's have it. Nnamdi and Travis Jones, phenomenal. Great games from them. Not good games, great games from both of those guys. They just overpowered a big, strong Bills offensive line. A good offensive line. Those guys were dominant. Madubuike did not practice today. Harbaugh said he will practice tomorrow. Just probably some dinged up. So it's good to rest them early in the year. Madubuike looked ready to play. Kyle Van Noy got high marks from PFF. I didn't see it. Away got so marks. I didn't see a big impact of the edge rushers, and it's kind of hard to tell with this Bills game because in a way they did their job. They contained Josh Allen. So these edge rushers aren't being asked to cut it loose and try to get to the quarterback. They're trying to maintain lane integrity. So Josh Allen doesn't get out of the pocket and let it fly downfield. And they did. I mean, they let him out of the pocket a couple of times. But if you look at Josh Allen's rush yards and his average, it wasn't great. So it's kind of tough to grade the edges. But a Clowney signing, some rough, tough edge rusher will help. And we need to see some more Mike Green. We need to see that explosiveness out there because it was noticeable. Aeneas Peebles, can't wait to see more than him. He was lined up at edge a couple of times, fellas. Aeneas Peebles, I think I actually saw him in a 2-point stance. So big old Aeneas Peebles at 280 pounds, standing up on the edge like Terrell Suggs. coming at the quarterback. It was I want to see more of the rookies. They did well. Roquan gave my thoughts on him. Teddy Buchanan and Trenton Simpson. Trenton started, but they rotated in and out. Teddy ended up with more snaps than Trenton. A little bit surprising, but not really, I guess. And both of those guys, they're just learning. They're just, Teddy, I think, is more physical. Trent is quicker. You're not getting a ton out of either of them, but that's what what we are. I don't think linebacker right now is one of our strong spots. We need Roquan to step up and be the $20 million a season guy and just make these impact plays. So the safety play, this is something I want to touch on. I love the safety play. Now, Kyle Hamilton was active. He made splash plays. Y'all saw that. But what you may not have noticed, and others who watched the game, is the way him and Malachi Starks communicated was beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. And what Malachi showed me is he's got a little more toughness, a little more tackle willingness, a little more ability to man up than we've had at safety next to him, next to Kyle for quite some time. Now, Ardarius was excellent, but I'm talking about like the true free safeties like Marcus Williams, the guys who can handle the back end. Ardarius wasn't trusted to handle the entire back end by himself. It was more of Kyle's job, as you know, and the big plays from Kyle kind of went away because we needed him so much on the back end, in the post last year. Well, Malachi can handle the post, and when he needs to come up and smack somebody, it looks good. Those two working together, it looked like they had played together for years. So if you're wondering how Malachi Starks did, I thought that he played a really good game. But more than that, like the little things that you notice on tape, man, this future is bright. If we got those two guys playing for us the next 5 years, we're going to have the best safety tandem in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. The corners, Marlowe played really, really well. He got turned around one time, but I mean, Marlon was solid the entire game. Chidobe Awuzie was in there at dime linebacker at times. He was at outside corner. I thought Awuzie had a really nice game. I think he is our best third cornerback at this time until Jair gets into shape, because you guys saw Jair get exposed a couple of times on Sunday night. It wasn't pretty. Nate, uncharacteristically underwhelming game for Nate. He made his mistakes too. He made his plays, but the big touchdown that he gave up, it just wasn't Nate-like. So I expect Nate to play better. But Jair Alexander, I think he's got to earn his way onto the field by being in practice and being the best player at practice. Harbaugh says it's a practice sport. He wants his guys at practice. Well, hey, let Jair outplay Chidobe Awuzie. He definitely has the ability to do that. But until he does that, maybe Jair only comes in on dime situations. So, yeah, living legend, I just saw Chidobe was active. He was. He looked like a Raven out there. And that's all. And Chris, behave yourself. Behave yourself out there, Chris. Yeah, I miss Ardarius. Me too, Heather. And Q saying, give Higgins some run. Yeah, Q, this is what I was saying about, I believe it was the members only video, that if Higgins is going to be active on game day, give him some run. Give him some run. He is a natural linebacker. His drops in coverage are excellent. He's got a real feel for depth. He's got a real feel of what's going on around him. But don't just activate him to have him play 15 snaps on special teams. To me, I'd rather have Keaton Mitchell inactive, active, if that. Mr. James is telling me another O's walk-off. Hey, they're getting good at it. They're playing close games and playing well. Nate could really be our crash out if he wants to. Yeah, Nate Dogg. Nate's one of my favorite players, honestly, Tila. I don't know. I just like his style. So yeah, that's the player analysis for week 1. Tyler Loop, by the way, the missed extra point. He had some pressure field goals. I love the first field goal he made. If you remember, Bills go right down and score. The Ravens look like they're going to score. Then we have a penalty. Then we have Lamar sacked. Next thing you know, the stadium's going crazy. It's a 50-yard field goal about. Think about if Tyler Loop misses that field goal and Josh Allen gets the ball right back after they scored on the first drive, a touchdown. That thing could have been 14-0 in a hurry. Instead, Tyler Loop nails that field goal. It's 7-3. Bills really calmed that game down. So, yeah, Loop missed the extra point, but nothing that I'm really concerned about at this point. I don't know if you guys are, but I thought that he did really well with some pressure kicks in Buffalo. That's really what I want to see. The missed extra points just seem more like a F up, something that you're not going to see very typically. Also, before we move on to the Browns, does the title say it all? You going to push our quarterback? By the way, it looked like in the face. Well, it was here. It wasn't like that, pushing him in the back. You don't push my quarter. Now I know it's always a few people ruin it for the rest of us. You gonna throw frozen beer cans on the field at Derrick Henry, and then you saw some of the stuff on social media last year. Some of the really racist stuff that Bills were saying about Lamar. Again, I like to try to write it off as just a few idiots, but what problem do Bills fans have with us? You guys are beating us, okay? You put us out the playoffs twice. You won that game. What did we do to y'all? You ain't the Steelers. Who do you think you are? When it comes around again, I hope we go up to that stadium and I hope we shut you guys up the way we should, because it's a classless display by not just one or two people with a fan base. It just keeps popping up with those guys. So yeah, I'm a little bit mad at the Bills fan base here, and yeah, I do. I had a beer dumped on me in Philly when in 1983 for the World Series. My parents took me up there. My mom and dad were still together. Couldn't get tickets in Baltimore. Go up 95. Saw Eddie Murray hit his name on the scoreboard. It was one of my first pure memories. Like I remember it. And we stood up and cheered. And bros in Philly dumped beer on yours truly. So yeah, I always have like a beef with Philly fans, the Philly fans. And I like the fact that Lamar apologized. I guess tourist, that's I wouldn't I would hope that I would think that he did that just to be politically correct and make sure he don't face any fines or repercussions. That's the last thing we need is Lamar to get. He shouldn't be suspended. It wasn't his fault. Like he said, natural reaction. Somebody pushes you in the face, you just push them back, get them off the damn field like you should. So yeah, I didn't like the fact that I like that he apologized, but I don't like the fact that he felt that he had to, because he just played it corporate right there, corporate Lamar, and yeah, he said he forgot where he was for a second. Exactly. Till somebody pushes you, you push them back, and that's just the way it happened. Um, yeah, and it wouldn't happen in Baltimore. Lamar is a good dude, and it shows. Heather, he is a really good dude. What he does with his time and money, I think, is shows a lot. So hey, how about these salty brownies? Talk about one fan base. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this radio host. I guess my point of view on this is clickbait. What a bunch of clowns the Ravens are. That's a giant middle finger to all of you. It's classless. So he's talking about the Ravens celebrating their 30th anniversary in Baltimore Sunday against the Browns. I think that this gentleman right here, who I don't care to even look up what his name was, because again, this is like clickbait. Look at me. Hey, I need the ratings on the radio. Bro, we don't make the schedule. We were going to celebrate our 30th season in our first game, our home opener. That's us celebrating the 30th season. We didn't make the schedule. It's not personal, man. Let it go. Let it go. Maybe it'd be easier to let it go if you guys actually had a team that won a Super Bowl, that won something, that wasn't called, ironically, the Cleveland Clowns by a lot of people out there. So, let it go, bro. I know you need the ratings, but obviously the Ravens aren't trying to rub salt in the Browns' wounds. The Browns haven't won this division in how long? The only thing the Browns try to do is injure us. That's about it. That's why we don't like the Browns. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, by the way, the man who kicked Lamar in the knee last year and then celebrated with a karate celebration. Derrick Henry put him out that game, and he's still not back. Still not back. JOK. Hope he's okay, but he went after my quarterback and loved the part of it. And then Jerry Jeudy says, was asked, what challenges do the Ravens secondary present? He could have said, like everybody else said, oh, they're a talented secondary, a lot of good players over there. We're going to have to we're confident we could score on the Ravens, but it's going to be a big challenge. No, Jerry Jeudy did not say that. He said no challenges, true wide receiver style. And you know what? That's what makes me mad about this Bills game. After we got 41 points put on our heads, I can't even really fight back. Ravens, you're not letting me fight back against Jerry Jeudy. We'll see how it goes against Joe Flacco and those guys on Sunday. So, yeah, 40 minutes. Haven't even got to the practice report or the Ravens score. But you know what? This is going to be a really simple uh, game plan. Excuse me. The practice report, pretty simple. Jair Alexander limited, likely on the side field. So likely he's getting closer. He was not officially at practice. Likely was out working out on the side field. Maybe next week or maybe the end of this week, but next week likely will be at practice. So I'll likely go through a drill where he was chopping his feet, going over the obstacles. Looked pretty darn good. So likely he's probably trying to get himself back into football shape. Nomini Matabike, more of a rest day, Harbaugh said. And then Ricard hasn't practiced since early August, still not out there. Do they activate Zaire Mitchell-Payton again this week? I'm guessing so. He was surprisingly the fullback. But again, I would like to see that spot go to Keaton Mitchell and then just let Charlie, Kolar, or Mark do some of this fullback stuff. That's what I would like to see, Ravens. That's what I would like to see. For the Browns, a lot of limited. The only person who did not practice is running back Quinshawn Judkins. For those not familiar with Judkins, second-round pick, Ohio State. Reminds me a lot of J.K. Dobbins. His running style, his speed, his power, just the way he moves. Dobbins also out of Ohio State. Judkins looks like him. This was a good player. This was running back number 3 on my board, next to Ashton. No, number 3 or 4 on my board. Ashton Gentry, Marion Hampton. But Judkins can play. Had disciplinary action. Still had not signed with the Browns. He was at the league office today, which is why it says personal. Did not practice. So Judkins probably, my guess is, he's not getting enough practice time to just start practicing on Thursday at the earliest and play. But he is a weapon out there. Bright future for Judkins if he keeps his head on straight. That guy's really, really talented. Okay, one other thing I want to get to before we get to the matchups. Our friend of the show, Ken McCusick, Adafi Owe was used almost exclusively on obvious passing downs and game situations versus Buffalo. Owe was on the field for 38 plays. The Buffalo Bills dropped back to pass on 37 of those plays. So it's 37 of 38 plays. Adafi was in there to rush the passer. Ken thought a more bulked up Owe would be a bigger force versus the run. This goes back to a question I was asking before the season, is who is playing opposite Tavius on that base defense. So my response was, yep, it was Kyle Van Noy and Mike Green rotating on the weak side in the base 3-4 defense, which we saw a lot of because Buffalo, as you guys know, had 3 tight ends they were rotating in and a fullback. Tavius held down the strong side and outsnapped Owe 48 snaps to 38 snaps. But here's why I want to see Mike. Let me just read it. They're giving Owe an opportunity to cash in figuratively and literally. Want to see more Green. So they're letting Adafi be basically a designated pass rusher out there, or having him be part of that main rush. And with Adafi Owe being a free agent this season, that's why I say they're giving him an opportunity to cash in both with getting sacks and by cashing in free agency. They're asking Mike Green to do some of the dirty work in this 3-4 base defense with Kyle Van Noy. If it were me, I just want to see more rush opportunities from Mike Green. So that was my thought in my tweet over there. If you guys can bear being on social media, yeah, Huddle It Up Films over on Twitter, X, whatever they call it. Yeah, so that was my thoughts on that. I want to see more Mike Green. Don't be afraid to use Owe versus the run in that 3-4 defense. Owe is a pretty decent run defender himself, especially since, on the strong side, it's Tavius, and that's where you really, really need your strong edge setters. Seeing your comments in there, you guys look like you're going to follow you now, Jason. Thank you, Tila. If I see you, I'm sure I'll see that face and recognize you and follow you back. That's awesome. Thanks, Tila. I appreciate you. I try to have fun over there, but I do definitely make some jokes. It's in my style. I want to take a look at the box scores for both of these offenses. The Ravens box score, you all have seen it, so I don't want to focus on that too much. But the Cleveland Browns missed an easy kick. They could have very easily upset the Cincinnati Bengals. Now you see Joe Flacco threw 45 passes. Joe's arm, 40-some years old, still in full effect. He completed 31 of 45, high percentage, but only for 295 yards, only 6.4 yards per pass, one touchdown, two picks. The two picks, both of those picks hit off of Brown's receiver's hands. So neither one of those picks were really Joe's fault. You can see their running game, not a lot of success in their passing game, a lot of short stuff. So here's what sticks out to me: the Bengals, great offense, great offense. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, and Cleveland held them down. Cleveland held them down to 17 points. Impressive job by the Cleveland Browns defense. On the other side, Cincinnati's defense, worst ever. Terrible defense. Light up Cincinnati. No talent on that defense. The Browns, as you can see by this graphic, no success running it. Really couldn't get any big plays going on offense. So this Cleveland Browns defense, arrow way up. Cleveland Browns offense, arrow way down. We got Joe Flacco, hon. He is coming to Baltimore on Sunday. Quick word on Joe. I mean, it's hard to not love Joe. I'm always going to love Joe. I hope we beat him bad this week. But Joe's just so candid and honest. Him and Lamar are a lot alike in like their interviews, where they'll be PC, but Joe Flacco is always going to be Joe. Lamar is always going to be Lamar. They're not phony. They'll give you good quotes every once in a while. They both have a sense of humor. And it was nice this week. I enjoyed hearing Joe Flacco talk about Lamar, and I enjoyed hearing Lamar today talk about Joe. It's like neither one of them pretends that they're best friends and it's going to be emotional and they're going to be crying when they see each other. But they both think, yeah, that guy's cool. I liked Lamar. He was cool. I liked Joe. He called him Flack. I liked Flack. He's cool. So I love that, man. I don't know, man. I love it. I love it. I love Joe Flacco. Always will. Mary Atkins asking us to hit the like button. Thank you, Mary. I could really use that. And stay on them. Stay on them in here. Ask them to hit the like button. I appreciate that. I'm not very good at that at all. So let's see. Let's start with the Ravens offense versus the Browns defense. It is impossible to look at this Browns defense and not highlight two guys, those two guys that you see highlighted right there. Myles Garrett, 2 sacks on Joe Burrow in the opener. He's going to be a problem for Ronnie Stanley. And in the past, they have moved Myles Garrett over to our right tackle side because they respect Ronnie Stanley so much. I've done film studies on this. It goes back a long time, so I can't even tell you what year. But Myles Garrett is usually lined up over left tackle. When he's played the Ravens, he's lined up over right tackle more. I can tell you that from the film study. So don't be surprised if you see Myles Garrett over on Roger Rosengarten's side a little bit and not in his usual spot. And if they're going to put Myles Garrett on Roger Rosengarten, we have better get a tight end in there to chip him, or it's going to be a really long day for Roger Rosengarten. So Myles Garrett's still at the top of his game. He's the number 1 edge rusher in the league, if you ask me. People go like TJ Watt or Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. Max Garrett's the one that gives me the most of the headache. I don't know about you guys. And then Denzel Ward, Jamar Chase. Any of y'all have him on your fantasy team? He's on one of mine, and he didn't do anything. Denzel Ward and these corners for Cleveland present a challenge. Denzel Ward versus Zay Flowers. Those are 2 players who right now are on fire. 2 very good players. Denzel Ward is not an overly tall cornerback. He can change directions really well. Zay Flowers is one of the best players in the NFL at changing directions and getting upfield. There's no doubt that the Ravens are going to try to get Zay the ball. I think he's going to have more targets than we think this year, guys. Like everybody's focused on Bateman getting a 1,000-yard season and how are we going to use these tight ends and how are we going to use D-Hop. But something tells me that Sunday night is not a mirage. I feel like they're going to try to get Zay the ball and try to get him his 8 targets a game. He's just too good with the ball in his hands. He's too quick, too explosive, and he can get 6 million ways to die. Choose one. I know my guy Wiz knows what I'm talking about on there. Trap from a wise man named Snoop Dogg. But Zay can get it any type of way. He can get it over the middle. He can get it down the field, dig routes, drag routes. You can throw him screens. We saw the jet sweeps. We're going to use Zay Flowers' yak ability to our advantage in this season. I think he's going to get more touches the next year. And if he stays healthy, he looks like a 1,200-yard receiver to me. Like, it's not going to just be 1,000, 1,300-yard receiver for Zay Flowers if he stays healthy over these 17 games. That's my opinion. But this week, big challenge with Denzel Ward and this Brown secondary that held down the powerful Cincinnati passing attack, which, by the way, Samuel, Cincinnati played all their starters in the preseason. Burrow played, Chase played, Higgins played, and they only put up 17 points on the Browns. So, yeah, I love this. I just saw this from John's. Any kind of way, Zay. That's right. Any kind of way, Zay. I love that. Hey, next time he has a big game, John, put that in there again. I like that. I like that. So, yeah, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, two very challenging players. One thing to note, their linebacker crew is kind of interesting. You have Carson Schlesinger, second-round pick. Really liked him. Do-it-all linebacker from UCLA. I'm excited to see how he plays because he's got a chance to be a pain in our butt for a long time, or he's got a chance to be too small to play us. Very instinctual linebacker. Love the way Schlesinger plays the game. And then next to him is our old friend Devin Bush. Remember Devin Bush? The Steelers traded way up in the first round, gave up first-round picks to get Devin Bush. He was supposed to be the second coming. And now he's on, I don't know how many. I didn't even know Devin Bush was still in the league. But, yep, he was out there starting for the Cleveland Browns last week. So you know what Devin Bush is all about. This could be a big game for the tight ends. If they try to match up Devin Bush or Grant Delpit, I could see Andrews going off in this game, or Charlie Kolar finally getting some run, or D-Hop in the slot. Anybody that's matched up on a linebacker or a safety, this is a good matchup for the Ravens. You look at Greg Newsome, you look at Denzel Ward. That is a killer combo of cornerbacks. But when I look at the safeties and the slot corner, Harden, I believe Harden is a seventh-round pick from last year, Miles Harden. It's nothing that the Ravens can't handle. I'm going to give my score prediction later. Ronnie Hickman, their safety, he was an undrafted guy out of Ohio State. Very safe player, very Geno Stone feel to his game. Not really a playmaker, but he's in the right spot all the time. Sometimes that's all you need on defense. But the way the Ravens offense looked on Sunday night, I respect Cincinnati's offense a lot. I think they have a great offense. But the Ravens are going to put up more than 17 points at home in their home opener. I would bet on that. I think that, the pass rush is worrisome for the Cleveland Browns if you're the Ravens. The cornerbacks are really good, but the Ravens still have Derrick Henry. They still have Lamar Jackson. They're going to test the rookie Mason Graham, the veteran Malik Collins, Devin Bush, Carson Schlesinger. This could be another huge game for Derrick Henry. And, hopefully Keaton Mitchell plays, but I doubt it because I think that his speed could really give the Browns problem as well. So, yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Where is the Don? Where is the Don? Sorry about that. I clicked on the wrong one. Where's my DONC? Hey, he's probably working. I think he drives a truck or something like that. But the man does work nights. Shout out to Don C. Love you, brother. Love you. If you're watching on the replay. So, yeah, the last name I want to mention on the Browns defense is Isaiah McGuire. They took him last year in the draft. He had a sack of Joe Burrow on Sunday. So he's somebody else to keep an eye on. They do rotate edges like every other team. But McGuire has some pass rush upside. And the Browns could really use a compliment to Myles Garrett because Garrett gets so much attention. So, yeah, what are you looking for in this matchup? If you're watching on replay, comment. I would love to hear what your predictions for this game is, your Ravens offense. I'm going to give my score prediction in just a moment. But before we do that, let's have a message from our sponsor. No, we don't have a sponsor. Let's flip over to the Ravens defense against this Browns offense as the dogs get home. So, yeah, no sponsor on here. Now, I probably could. You guys are my sponsor, actually, with the super chats and all that stuff. New channel memberships, which is pretty cool. Got my new camera. I think I look pretty good. Trying to fight Father Time over here. Next year, 50th birthday for yours truly. So big 50th birthday party we'll have next time. Um, I see some score predictions coming in. It might be that time. Chris, 45-12. All right. I can see that. So we keep the Browns out the end zone, or maybe they miss the extra point. I can see that. 45-12. Living legend. 27-10 Ravens. That seems, I think that's pretty close. Well, no, it isn't. I think Vegas is predicting a little bit different score than that, but that's pretty close. I like that. Um, Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You look pretty good yourself. I do call you the lovely Chris for a reason. Dwiz saying 38-17 Ravens. Heather 35-15 Ravens. I'm feeling this kind of game. I mean, this is an angry Ravens team, obviously. And like you said, through 3 quarters in Buffalo, they look like the best team in the NFL. They look better than any other team I'd seen that weekend. So yeah. And 28-17. And yet, Jason does have some game. I do have some game. I've been with my wife since high school, so it's easier when you don't care. It's easier to flirt when you just don't care. So yeah, the ladies do tend to like Jason. They do. Samuel Moore, 31-9. I like it. That might be a scoregami. Has there ever been a 31-9 game? I would like the score to be that so we can find out. Taurus, Taurus, you're going to be the dissenter here. I like it. Taurus sees a classic Ravens Brown 23-20 Ravens game. Okay. All right. I like that. I like it, Taurus. Somebody's got to disagree with all these scores. My prediction is a little bit bigger than that, Taurus. 50 aka Ferrari. Yeah, I'm gonna hang with 49 for now. I'm gonna hang with 49 for now. Salute. Hey, right back at you, Captain. I don't know if you're Captain, but I know you're in the military. Yeah, and they do. Ladies love Uncle L, the future of the funk. Yeah, LL Cool J. I'm bad. Other rappers know when I enter the center, they say, yo, yo, there you go. Making me rap here. Love that. So, yeah. All right, so let's get serious. Let's get serious because we could talk about this kind of stuff all night. Browns offense, Ravens defense. 2 players I want to watch. Let's talk about the DeJuan Jones, Adafi Owe matchup that's going to happen. Left tackle versus the edge rusher here. If you guys don't know DeJuan Jones, watch this guy on Sunday. Think Orlando Brown Jr. That's what he looks like. Blocks out the sun type of guy, but like a tall blocks out the sun type of guy. Not a Lele type, more like a Zeus type. Crazy long arms. Moves like Orlando Brown. That's the kind of challenge that the Ravens have at left tackle. A lot of people wrote DeJuan Jones off and were like, how guys get stuck in a box. And it's, he's big, slow, looks like Orlando Brown. He's going to play right tackle. He has no chance at left tackle. Well, he's getting his chance to play left tackle in Cleveland. This is where I want to see Mike Green, fellas. You're going to put it on Orlando Brown type left tackle out there. This is where I want to see Mike Green get an opportunity to speed around him, bend the edge, and get to Joe Flacco. Because you know what? Joe does not have the mobility. He is the classic pocket passer, especially at 40 years old. Let Mike Green burn that edge. And Owe, these are the type of games. You want that big money. These are the type of games you should dominate. So I'm looking at that matchup. See how the big left tackle of the Cleveland Browns does against our edge rushers. Remember that matchup. Also, Jerry Jeudy, 1,200 yard receiving yards, was one of the top receivers down the stretch last year. He is somebody that the Browns need to have a big game. Nate Wiggins need to bounce back from him. Again, some good play from Nate and some sloppy play from Nate. Need Nate to tighten it up and really bring the pain in this game, man, against Jerry Jeudy. Love that. Harold Fannin. Did you guys see the stat line on Fannin? I had it right here. Fannin had 9 targets. He was the most targeted Cleveland Brown. 7 receptions for 63 yards. So Harold Fannin, for those of you who don't know, is an Isaiah Likely type tight end. So they're going to play this 2 tight end set, but Fannin is not blocking edge rushers in line. He is out there split out in the slot like Isaiah Likely. Marlon Humphrey, good guy to have matched up on a guy like that, I think. A lot of teams have undersized corners or big, tall corners who can't move well. Fannin is big. Fannin can move. Big yak guy out of Bowling Green. So I like having Marlon Humphrey on this team for a lot of reasons, but especially a week like this where you face a hybrid, tight end wide receiver hybrid. Marlon, of course, plays physical ball, but can still change direction. He's faster than Harold Fannin. So I'd be interested to see if they continue to target him like they did last week, or if Marlon shuts him down and they try to pick on the weak link. Dylan Sampson was their leading rusher last week. You see, not much luck for Cleveland. Sampson, 12 attempts for 29 yards, only 2.4 yards per carry. Jerome Ford, the guy who's been there for a while, more of their third down back, it looks like, 6 attempts for 8 yards, only 1.3 yards per carry. So this Browns team could not run the ball. And it's time for the Ravens defense to step up. Mentioned how well Travis Jones played, how well Nnamdi Madubuike played. It's time for them to step up, dominate these boys. And you know what? On the offensive line, Joe Petonio, Ethan Pokic, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin. It's been those same 4 names forever. The only guy that's gone is Jedrick Wills, their left tackle. So this Browns line, I feel like the Browns should have addressed this through their draft at some point and gotten younger and letting some of these veterans go, but they're letting them get old together. I would say it's still a good group. Still a good group of offensive linemen, but not nearly as dominant. And now you got these guys coming into their primes now, like Travis Jones, like Madubuike. Would love to see Tavius do something in this game. So on the lines of scrimmage, I expect the Ravens to dominate this side of the ball, just like I expect the Cleveland Browns to have an advantage on the Ravens on this side of the ball. I expect the Ravens defensive line to have the advantage when we're on defense. So, yeah, Hamilton, Starks, great looking combo. Both of those guys played well. It's that spot next to Roquan and Roquan himself where we need a higher level of play. So, yeah, let Higgins play. Whoever said that earlier, let Higgins play. That is my thoughts. So let's go ahead, remove that. I don't know why it keeps popping to that. I want that section right there. So the score predictions. So if you go by Vegas, they're giving the Ravens a 12.5 point. They're favorites by 12.5. And they're putting the over-under at 45.5. So what that means, that adds up to about a 29-17 game. Is what, if the Vegas lines are right, that's about what this matches up to be. I'm going for the over on this. And I think the Ravens put up 35 points, 34, 35 points. Browns in the lower teens. So I'm going to say we'll go 34-13. 34-13 Ravens. I think they come out angry. I think the Browns have problems moving the ball. Maybe they get some garbage time touchdowns, or maybe it's a blown coverage or something like that where they get a touchdown. But for the most part, the Ravens dominate this game. I am a fan of the Browns defense, but I think, again, you're coming into one of the better offenses, look like the best offense in the NFL for most of Sunday night. And I expect the Ravens to put on a show in front of the home crowd. By the way, they're doing a lot of stuff for the 30th year of Ravens football. I'm not sure exactly who they're having out there, but I know they're having all kinds of like guests. I forget, somebody's going to have the shield. Maybe it's Ozzy, but it's a big to do. And the players know that home opener, the fans are going to be crazy. So I expect the Ravens to come out. Yeah, I'm going to go with 34-13 Ravens in there. And I appreciate you guys with your score predictions. You catch this before Sunday. Drop in your score predictions. I want to hear them. Bold predictions. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a chance to type in your bold predictions if you care. Give me a bold prediction. Go real bold on this. Okay, my bold predictions. The Ravens sack Flacco 5 times, and it's a Jackson 4. Not going to give him a Jackson 5, but I think Lamar's mad. And usually when Lamar's mad, when they get down to the goal line, he just wants to pepper the other team. So look for Zay to have a touchdown. Look for like the tight ends to have a touchdown. Look for Bateman to get in the end zone this week. I feel a Jackson 4 coming to like maybe even 4 different receivers. Just spread them out, let Lamar do his thing. I do think it's going to be a good game for Derrick Henry, but it just seems to me that when this Ravens team comes off a tough loss or they have that kind of like adversity, that's when you get that Jackson 5 in a big game. So I'm going to give him a Jackson 4. I'm going to give the 5 to number 5, Joe Flacco. A number I wore myself when I played ball. Number 5, didn't get it football. I was a defensive back, and back then you couldn't have single digit numbers. But in baseball, I was a number 5. So that's my bold prediction. Let's see if we got any in here. Hey, Living Legend, thanks for coming through, man. Malachi, pick 6. Man, Malachi could have had that one. It looked like he had it lined up and then it was tipped. Anybody else see that on TV? Looked like Malachi had that thing all lined up and was going to pick it off. Then the receiver got a hand on it and it headed more towards his like lower half than it was in his chest. He had it lined up here, but it ended up down by his his waist and his knees. Trying to be careful with what I say here, Living Legend, because I know how the ladies are. Yeah, Derek, 200 yards. Heather, what kind of start to the season would that be? What did he have on what did he have Sunday night? He had 169. So can you imagine if he had like, we'll give him 370. Maybe he gets 220 some, he gets close to 400 yards through 2 games. Man, I would love to see that. Maybe Derek gets his get back this year on Saquon and takes the early lead for Offensive Player of the Year if he does go for 200 yards. Love that, Heather. Thank you. 5 is Chris's number 2. All right, Chris. Nice. Yeah, I'm a 5. That's kind of my lucky number is 5. Samuel, up and eat. What are you trying to outdo me? Trying to outdo me, Samuel. Sacked Flacco 7 times. I said 5. I thought I was being a big shot over here. Samuel is going for 7 times. And Jackson does have a Jackson 4 and a loop field goal. Cleveland only monsters 3 field goals. As you said, 31-9. Thanks again for reminding me. All right, so this would be a great screenshot, Samuel, because you're not only giving the score, but you're giving exactly how we're going to score. So yeah, this could be a classic moment for Samuel Moore if this happens, because he's spelling out the entire game for us. I love that. Heather likes the number 5. All right. Hey, Tony, checking in. Tony Fazio. Appreciate you. Saw you on the vault. Now I'm here. Good stuff. Keep going. Tony, in a normal week, I want to let you know, I had to work. I worked hard on the vault thing yesterday. In a normal week, we'll have scouting cut-ups on this channel, and I'm probably going to get to those tomorrow. But I had to prep for the show, and I also had to do stuff for Sarah and Bobby. It was my pleasure to be on. I hope it's Fazio. I think it's Fazio. But thank you so much, Tony. Either way, for coming in. Hope you subscribe, like the video, and all that good stuff, man. But yeah, honest talk on here, scouting perspective. That's my background. So that's what I like to talk about in the matchups, and also have a little bit of fun. So I hope we are your style, buddy, and I hope you get more involved. Football is family. You see the sign back there. It is family because we watch it together. We played ball together. Sweat, blood, and tears. Your kids play. They come from all different places, rich kids, poor kids, whatever. We come together for a common goal, and it bonds people. Now I've wrestling bonds, really cool, played baseball, all that. But football to me, I don't know. I think it brought out a more diverse people as a whole, people from all kinds of backgrounds coming out. And, I still see those people in the store every once in a while. My old buddy from here, a guy I used to live across the street from. And it's just like, we never left. So yeah. And Taurus, my birth month is also a 5, but I am a Gemini, my friend. Okay, Chris, getting in. I said Mike Green with a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Ooh, Chris. Chris, you're a thinker. I like that. Because I'm already thinking that Mike Green versus DeJuan Jones on that side is just going to be a bad matchup when Mike Green gets his chance against DeJuan Jones. And Adafia Way is getting a rest. If Mike Green gets those pass rush opportunities, would love to see him get more. We brought up the stats earlier, that tweet from Ken, that Mike Green just wasn't given a lot of chances to rush the passer. If he gets a chance to rush Flacco, he's got gazoombas. Flacco holds the ball. He will take a hit. Mike Green can get on him fast and strip sack. I love that, Chris. That is a good one. That is a really good one. Jackson 4, Tito not invited. Why you got to do that to Tito? So look, me and 2 other people got the Jackson 4. Dario, yo, what is up? K-Ham, 2 interceptions. That would be great. I would love to see the playmaking Kyle come out. Um, we see crash out Kyle a lot. His 2 pass breakups one Sunday night were fun. He almost ran over the man on the other, sling Shakir around on the other. I was on there with the vault showing those plays, and he brings a real energy. Even though Kyle's like doesn't come off as a big trash talker, but he hits so hard and plays so hard and embarrasses people out there that it's like his team feeds off the just the play style. Like, you don't need to say nothing. He just gets out and looks like that, and that's about it. But yeah, K-Ham with 2 interceptions. Would love to see that. Would love to see that. Okay, hey Dwiz, coming in. You copying off of Heather's paper? What's going on, Dwiz? We can't get more creative than that. 200 yards for D Hen. So that's 200-yard predictions for Derrick Henry. Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry went for over 100 yards in the second quarter. That was got to be one of the best quarters of football I've ever seen running the ball. Breaking off a 46-yarder here, 30-yarder here, 18-yarder here. Yeah, just a great game for Derrick Henry. Okay, it's Fazio. Got you. I'm glad I've read that one, Tony. Fazio it is. Okay, I want to make sure I get it right. Talking about signs up here. Yeah. All right, so there goes the bold predictions. Final thoughts is I love y'all. Thanks for coming in and supporting. He said I'm gonna go more solo. Gonna go more solo this year because look, here I am, an hour 12 into this. If I would have had a guest and would have went over all this, probably would have been close to 2 hours. So I know y'all like to flirt and do all that in the chat. You can do that on your own time. I'm gonna get something to drink, something to eat, but truly, like to mess around. I really appreciate you guys in here. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the good conversation. See Cosmo in there. Great show tonight. Yeah, Samuel, great show. Catch you on the next one. If you want to share, subscribe, bring more people in here, that would be great. But yeah, I expect a big game for the Ravens. 34-13 is what I'm going with. And I was never a score prediction guy, but I think I want to do more of it this year because sometimes I do well with it. And I'm trying to speak this into existence. You see down at the bottom, been scrolling, all my members, if you want a channel membership, yeah, hit the join button. Yeah, Uncle L is my guy, Tila. You don't know the I'm Bad, and the Walking with the Panther, and Mama Said Knock You Out album. I know some LL Cool J, and I do it and do it and do it well, Tila. You know that. Okay, so that is enough of my shenanigans. I want to say thank you to my football family. I love my football family. You can like and subscribe the video. And please comment below if you're catching this on the replay. Love y'all so much, okay? Have a good night.